So, welcome to Raven Nation, to Franklin Pierce University, and our football team has National Signing Day today on Groundhog's Day, and it's always an exciting day for us on campus as a coach and staff. It kind of ends up being like Christmas morning, where we wait to see all the guys that end up signing with us and joining our football family. And of course, we're just so excited to have all these guys, and there's so much that goes into this process. I first want to thank specifically Coach Ewan and Coach Denson. We've been a little bit short-staffed here over the last couple of months with and where we really wanted to focus more on the recruiting class, and we're in the process of hiring coaches now. But those two guys in particular really have busted their rear, helping put this class together, and we're really excited to announce today the fact that we're going to sign 19 high school guys along with 4 mid-year transfers and add them to our football family. So again, signing day is such a fun day for every college football program. We went into this class for the first time where we weren't just trying to add good football players because we needed to add numbers to our program, but we could be very specific as to the type of player we wanted to add and really address more kind of specific needs in the program. As the saying goes, go big or go home. We really took that approach in this class. We felt like as a football team that we had to get bigger, and that started with adding depth and really good players in the offensive and defensive lines. Between the mid-year transfers in the high school class, we were able to add 8 offensive linemen to this class, to our football team, and 3 defensive linemen, and we think that all of them have the ability to be able to come in and contribute early in their career. But as we've kind of been, started this program and then kind of see where we're at, we've got to start winning the trenches more, and so we really focused on that group of guys. There's going to be some special players as you guys start to look at our signing day list here. At the end of the day, we'll have more information on that on FPURavens.com. We'll have kind of a signing day central deal that'll have bios on each of the kids. So you're going to see some names at the top. Everyone's always wants to see the quarterbacks and the running backs and the receivers and the defensive backs and the guys that score the touchdowns and make the plays. But really the meat and potatoes of our class was in the offensive and defensive line. So I'm going to kind of start there. We were able to add one mid-year transfer named Lamique Marilis from ASA Miami, who's going to be, he's plug-in and play kind of guy. We expect he'll be able to contribute real early, and he's on campus now. And then we were able to sign 7 offensive linemen in this class. Throughout, not only one here locally, Gareth Armstrong, who's right down the road for us at Conval High School. We always would want to win on the recruits in our own backyard, and he was a very important recruit for us to be able to sign. But as we're just kind of running through some of the names, Aiden Stark, who's from Holyoke High School, who we have a couple players on the team from there. It's great to be able to add him. Between him, Ned McBain, and Jake Chiricello, all those guys are interior guys that are going to be able to help immediately in the center and guard positions. And then we actually signed one player from Providence, Rhode Island, who is an all-state player named Jordy Fernandez. And I think Jordy's a guy that can really play in all 5 positions in the offensive line, incredibly versatile, athletic kid. And then we are planning on announcing 2 more signees in the class later on today, who are dynamic players that are going to add depth. So super excited in the offensive line spot to be able to add that many quality players to our group of guys that are already on campus. I think it really does 2 things. It provides the much needed depth that we need, but I think it also challenges our players here on campus and what they're going to have to do to be able to move forward and continue to play and create the type of competition at that position I think that we sorely needed. So in the defensive line, we run a 3 down front. We really were able to sign 3 guys that I think can naturally play all 3 positions. Starting with John Furno from Blackstone Valley Tech in Massachusetts, a really strong and outstanding player, really great off the ball and playing in the backfield. A very similar type of player, a guy that can play all three positions, named Burnell, out of High Point Regional in New Jersey. They're both 6'2", 6'3", 250, 260-pound guys that are kind of interchangeable in between the three spots. And then we expect to be able to announce later on today one other player that's got great potential upside and a super physical player, and we expect to be able to announce him later on today. So overall, we're planning on signing 11 players in the offensive defensive lines, which is half of our class. And that was really the number one focus of this class. As we start to get to the skill position players, I think we have to talk first and foremost about the quarterbacks. I think it's going to be a very competitive room. We felt like we need to do an overall upgrade in that room and make it as competitive as possible going into next year. We already know what type of running game we were able to have last year with E.J. Burgess, and with him coming back as a senior and the offensive player of the year in the league. But we need to get more efficient in the passing game. So we went out and signed 2 quarterbacks. One of them is a mid-year transfer that's on campus now, named Kavaris Thomas. Kavaris started his career at Western Kentucky University and is now on our campus and going through drills and working with our guys and starting to build those type of relationships. And then we felt like we signed a really outstanding high school player that makes the future look really bright at the position, named Adrian Parker out of Manchester, Connecticut. We had Adrian in camp this summer and fell in love with him immediately, recruited him really hard, and we're really glad that he's going to be a Raven. Really natural throw of the ball, can really spin it. So we were able to add those two pieces to the quarterback room. With obviously having EJ at running back, great player, but we have to plan for the future, and so we were able to sign 2 high school running backs that are really my type of style of back. Guys that are low center of gravity, super physical, can make guys miss in the hole, but can finish going downhill and falling forward when on contact and break tackles. And that was Alex Benitez out of Montgomery High School in New Jersey, and then Anthony Oquindo from Fitchburg High School, just right down the road from us in Massachusetts. Both of those guys were really important pieces of this recruiting puzzle for us to be able to add depth at that position, knowing that we're a team that must have great balance and be able to run and throw the ball. So really excited to have those guys. And then I felt like we signed a very dynamic high school receiver named Austin Howe out of Newington, Connecticut. I loved his versatility from the get-go. When you watch his video, he's going to play receiver for us, but he actually was a first-team defensive back, all-state defensive back in the state of Connecticut, and plays wildcat quarterback and plays running back and just does a number of things with the ball in his hand. Really, really outstanding player. In addition to adding Austin as a high school player, we were able to take 2 guys mid-year that are on campus now. One of those players is Christian Simon from ASA Miami. Was actually a teammate of EJ's back a couple of years ago. And he's going to provide a lot of depth and versatility to that room. Can play inside or outside. And then we think we signed a guy who I think projects to be one of the best players in the league next year. A transfer from Merrimack named Antonio Smickle. Antonio's a 6'3" guy that can really run and jump, and so between those 3 guys, we think we really have upgraded the receiver room. So finally, on the defensive side of the ball, after adding depth, and the 3 defensive linemen that we signed are all really super strong guys. But after the 3 linemen, we were able to sign 5 defenders, 3 defensive backs, and then 2 guys that play our Sam position, which is kind of a hybrid safety outside linebacker. And in today's football, all the guys got to be able to run and cover. And so we really felt like we did that. And each one of them served a very specific spot in our defense for what we do, what we ask our guys to do. And so it started at linebacker. We were able to sign 2 outside linebackers, Brett Nutting from Lakeland, Florida, and Nick Lima, who another outside linebacker / hybrid safety from Taunton, Mass. Not only are they great players on the defensive side of the ball, but they're going to immediately provide depth in our special teams because they're fearless guys that like to run and hit. And so we're really happy to add those 2 guys. And then at the defensive back, we went in and we wanted to sign in our defense what we call a field corner, a boundary corner, and a free safety type of player, and we were able to address all three of those. The field corner that we signed is a guy named Jayden Boyd from right down the road, Springfield Central, part of the state championship team. He was the guy that moved in there this summer and immediately provided a spark to their football team. He's not a real super tall guy, but he is really fast and he can explode and hit. And so, and he's an aggressive kid. He's a guy that wants to challenge, get up and challenge receivers and be physical. So it was great to add Jayden to the class first. Tristan Boone is a longer boundary kind of corner in our system. That's a guy that's going to lock up and play, the single receiver into the boundary. And Tristan Boone from Tampa Bay Tech in Florida is a 6-foot kid with really long arms and can run and cover. He's the guy that can lock the opposing receivers down that ends up playing on that single receiver side. And then one of my favorite players in the class, Tyrese Dominique. Tyrese is a guy that I think a lot of people didn't really recruit him as a defensive back because he played quarterback for Rocky Hill High School in Connecticut. He, on the offense side of the ball, he rushed for over 1,500 yards and played quarterback for them. But we really projected him to be that kind of roam the middle of the field free safety. He's a 6'1" kid that can really run and is physical. He just wasn't asked to do that all the time for his high school since he was our starting quarterback. And so we really felt like in this class, each position where we had needed to go address a specific need, we did. And I guess that's about as much as you can ask for when you're putting together a signing class. Again, we're not completely done yet for the day. We have a couple of guys left that are still waiting to be signed today. We'll add a few more pieces here over the next couple of weeks. But we're just really super happy about the class that we were able to put together. They're great kids that are going to represent our community well. They're great kids that are going to fit in with the dynamic and the culture of our program. And we're just so blessed to have each and every one of them join our football team. To the recruits and their parents, thank you very much. You don't know how much it means to us and what an honor it is for me to be able to coach them and be an extension of your guys' family. And to the staff and the coaches in particular that are able to put all this stuff together, we thank all of you, each and every one of you, and we can't wait to show you what our football team is going to look like in the fall of 2022. Go Ravens.